All right. This is the 5th of November 2024. Welcome back to KUTV Rise Today. After a fruitful Monday with Ojang Mariam on Art and Culture Monday, this is our return to this show with Biashara Tuesday. Let's discuss business, the economy, and politics, and everything in between those three things that I mentioned. So we will be going through all of this in discussions on the show and also in interviews that will also be happening here, and updates that I give you from the world, from the newsroom, and also from what I've been able to round up as the most important bits of information. So that I'm not scaring you as much, I'll try and fix it with mixing it up between good news, bad news, news that we can expect in the coming week, news that has been there since last week, and then we can see what kind of situation exactly we are in. 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason, and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder, treason should ever be forgot. That's an opening line from a villain in a very popular film, political film actually, that goes by the name of V for Vendetta. It's something I can recommend for you to watch, and it resonates especially with the events in Kenya, with what the young people have been trying to do, who have been called treasonous from time to time. So remember the 25th of June. Gunpowder, treason, and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder, treason should ever be forgot. Think about it as I welcome you to this exciting morning all the way to 10 a.m. So today is the presidential elections in the United States. Will it be Donald Trump, the former president, or will it be the current vice president, Kamala Harris? Elections or votes have already been casted or have been going on in various states and from various US voters. And as of yesterday, both candidates made their remarks in this yet again heated debate or heated run between the Democrats and the Republicans. The issues which are of concern for both candidates to try and woo voters to their side range from economic issues, political issues, the war in the Middle East, and even reproductive health. Kamala Harris emerging a favorite in trying to take care of the reproductive health of women in the US, while Donald Trump is vowing to close down the borders and ensure that he's protecting the citizens of the United States from outsiders, immigrants, and invasions. Kamala Harris promises to end the war or to try and find a solution to the war in Gaza between Israel and Palestine. So who will take the day? We'll be following up with those details throughout this day. It's a very tight race. The polls as of yesterday showed them still tying, as I'd seen last week. Still as of yesterday, around 48% for both, and slightly up by 0.5 or less by 0.5% in other polls by other organizations. So we'll be following up with what the journalists on those sides or on that side of the world are giving us as updates, and then here in this part of the world we just follow it and see exactly how it affects our economic situation. Markets are going to be volatile for those who like to invest in forex and currency exchanges. So because of these elections, unpredictability in the markets, so be careful and check out your money. Keep a keen eye on the trends and on the graphs. Kenya has a new deputy president, and just like that, we have forgotten DP Rigathi Gachagua. He's still trying to fight with a few court cases here and there in the courts, but DP Kindiki is the man in office as of last week. Turn of events as of Friday, again a holiday out of nowhere. Kenyans had to sit back and watch that swearing in ceremony, which was heavily guarded according to information here, including snipers, security agents in roads which are leading to the venue. And of course, Kenyans invited a select few to witness the ascent to office by DP Kindiki, who is formerly the Interior CS, a position which is currently now occupied by Musalia Mudavadi on an acting position. So who will fill in the gap if Musalia Mudavadi becomes the new CS of Interior? Will we forget it's an constitutional office, or will there be another office holder on those sides? Discussions that we'll definitely be picking up here on the show. Azimio's slow death, that's also something we're going to have a look at. Some of the parties. Previously, of course, we've seen the likes of Martha Karua's party giving a notice in July this year that they will be exiting Azimio. ODM has already been swallowed by the government. We've seen positions being taken up by former top honchos from ODM side, signaling a slow death of Azimio. And as of yesterday, Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, and Ferdinand Waititu are coming together to form a new coalition for the new year. They are hinting towards a new direction to try and face President William Ruto and likely Raila Amolo Odinga, who had earlier already ditched or seems to have ditched this coalition, which is the Azimio la Umoja coalition. So, what direction for politics in the Republic? I had asked way back between ODM on the larger extension Azimio and UDA on the larger extension being Kenya Kwanza, who exactly has been swallowed in the latest broad-based government. But it seems the Kenya Kwanza side is intact. UDA is intact so far, but the sides of Azimio, it seems fractures have already started showing. Is this the complete end of the opposition? Also questions that we are asking ourselves. And speaking of here, now, as we talk about Azimio, ODM and Azimio, the new CS for the Ministry of the National Treasury, who is a former top honcho for ODM, which is CS Mbadi, is saying that there's going to be a reintroduction of some of those bills or some of those provisions which are there in the finance bill of 2024. The controversial finance bill, which led Kenyans and mostly young people to the streets, is likely to be introduced with a few clauses which I was looking at here. And these are some of the most contentious of the clauses which brought people out to protest heavily, forcing President William Ruto to take the finance bill back to Parliament for deletion of all the clauses. These are like the whole amendment is going to be called the Tax Laws Amendment Bill of 2024. Some of the measures which are being reintroduced are the digital marketplace tax, which was first to introduce taxes for food delivery services and separating this from cab hailing services, which have been operated by some of those companies as one service. So food hailing or food delivery and cab hailing to be separated so that the government is able to tax food delivery services, professional services, freelance services. There's also going to be in there the withholding tax on goods supplied by public entities such as a government office at a rate of 0.5%. There's also going to be that economic presence tax, which was being introduced to multinational companies which are operating in Kenya, like Google, Amazon, Netflix, the likes of Spotify, who operate virtually but have presence here in the Republic through consumers. So they want to introduce or to reintroduce the significant economic presence tax. This is signaling an increase in the amount of money that you pay to these streaming services and some of these services you're getting from the multinationals. It's currently only a digital service tax of 1.5%, but Mbadi says 6% is going to be good for these companies. Infrastructure bonds, if you're investing your money in infrastructure bonds, they have been so far tax-free, but that is likely to end if this repealed clause gets a return into the law and becomes a tax. So this new bill proposes 5% tax rate from any interest that you are accruing from infrastructure bonds. KRA PIN is going to be mandatory for Kenyans who are working remotely. So if you've been earning dollars, unafinya computer, unapata pesa, you're going to get a KRA PIN mandatory for you so that you're submitting all the necessary that the government wants from you. Affordable housing and SHIF to be tax deductible. So those are the list of the bills which are going to be in the tax amendment bill signaling that there's a likelihood of Kenyans going back to the streets. The parliamentary committee necessary for budgeting has already warned the National Treasury against this, but Mbadi, who is formerly an ODM leader, says this is good for the bottom-up economic model. Suddenly, he understands exactly how the bottom-up economic model is supposed to work. That's a discussion we want to get ahead of here on the show. So later, when I sit down with Ojwang Mariam, we get to have a look at those taxes, the developments in that national treasury, and of course what this means for the future of the nation, which has just recently announced that we have a turnaround, with the latest being that inflation rates are in their lowest of the past 17 years. Is this true? Are these manufactured statistics? Is this a way to reintroduce taxes? We're going to wait and see, but discussions will definitely be happening here. Lastly, before I begin with the rest of the show and the discussions that I have prepared, as I hinted, is KCSE, the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education Examination, officially kicked off yesterday. It did kick off last week with foreign languages, but yesterday is when all candidates across the country were able to sit the common papers that they do share across the country. This year marks 960,000 candidates sitting for that 2024 KCSE examination, including 181 adults and 12 prisoners. So we have that information for you, a discussion, of course, on exactly how that is being handled, the security of the examination, the sanity of the examination, given that some of the students have been sitting for these exams while they're either in labor pains or in hospital sick. Is this necessary? Those are questions that we are presenting here, but if you have someone or a school you'd like to wish the best here this morning, a student, a friend, a brother, send their names, send their school names, and we'll give them a shout out here and wish them all the best as they sit for these exams for the next 2.5 weeks. On this show, we're having a discussion on entrepreneurship, and I've invited over a very interesting gentleman who is doing activities that you should be looking forward to this end of year. In December, you're being invited by one Mr. Franklin Gitau, who is the Kenya Regional Manager in Nairobi and Central Kenya. Is the regional manager in Nairobi and Central Kenya for Somo Africa. So Somo Africa is trying to help young people, as we do here on the show as well, to empower the future of entrepreneurs to change the world. So what do they have for you this year? They have something called the Somo Soko Nairobi edition happening in the 7th of December 2024, where there's going to be networking, display of course, innovation and businesses and what people have to offer for you, but also discussions that are going to be happening there on how we can promote local entrepreneurs, expand to reach more markets. So if this is something that you want to attend or you want to support, it's a discussion I'm having with him here live on set. He's already with us, just going out to see what is happening on the roads, giving you traffic updates, weather updates, and then we'll be right back with those discussions. And later, as I said, newspaper review section with Ojwang Mariam and Robin Karani Murimi, lawyer aka Ro. Mkuro will be here next to Ojwang Mariam. Those two very active in Roysambu constituency, also to give us updates on what is happening in Nairobi County. Welcome to Biashara Tuesday. My name is Richard OKENYE. Social platforms at Richard_OKENYE, at KUTV Kenya, hashtag Rise Today, hashtag Biashara Tuesday. Yes, sir.
Shake my
Alright, not much is happening this morning. The roads are empty for most part, so it's going to be easy for you to get to town if you're going out for work or business. But in the meantime, let me give you some information in terms of traffic and some rules for you to follow when you're out there. Safety awareness and as well as traffic rules in Kenya. So how do you do safety awareness for truck drivers? The Kenya transporters have information here for me. We always caution people who are driving behind trucks or driving next to trucks to keep a safe distance and to know that the left side of most of trucks is not visible to the truck drivers. So ensure that you're avoiding that side. That's the blind side for truck drivers. So for truck drivers themselves, how do you ensure safety awareness out there? Stay alert, avoid fatigue, rest well before your long journeys. Check your load, secure your cargo to prevent it from shifting and giving us a very tricky situation in case your load or your cargo shifts and interferes with the traffic. Keep your distance. Large trucks need more space. Observe a safe trailing of 2 seconds between your truck and the truck in front of you. Buckle up, which means wear your seatbelt at all times. Observe the speed limit, follow traffic signals, and never drink and drive. Effects of mirror on drivers: restlessness and agitation, which might affect the driver's ability to remain calm or patient, especially in stressful driving situations. Increased heart rate and blood pressure. Sleep disturbances. Mental health issues. This can affect a driver's mental stability and increase the risk of an accident. Digestive problem or misjudgment. Oral health problems and stomach ulcers, which can impact a driver's overall well-being. So ukiona driver wako ameshikilia paper bag na ni kama anatafuna kitu, make sure you remind them that those are the effects of them doing that out there on the roads. How do you make your tires last longer? Regular tire inspection, maintain proper tire pressure, proper wheel alignment and balancing, rotate your tires regularly, monitor your tire temperature, train yourself on tire care like we are, store your spare tires properly, and invest in tire monitoring technology. All this information this morning, I'm getting it from the Kenya Transporters Association and also Math Reroute, as always, who give us current transport and traffic information in the city and its environs. That's the much that is happening, or that's the much I could let you know of the roads. If you're out there, know it's clean in Thika Road, Mombasa Road, and major roads in the city. But if there's a new update, please do let us know. Okay, Kenya Met Department, or the Kenya Meteor Department, is giving us the weather outlook for the next 1 week from the 5th of November to 11th of November. Rainfall is expected in the central highlands of Kenya, Western Kenya, the Lake Victoria Basin, Rift Valley, Southern Lowlands, Coast, Northeastern, and this is going to be during the first half of the week. There could be isolated storms, especially in the northern part of the Kenya, and second half of the week is likely to be generally sunny and dry. Average temperatures in the daytime going to be at around 30 degrees Celsius, and this is in all across the country. Nighttime temperatures to drop to below 10 degrees Celsius in parts of central Kenya and the Rift Valley region. So first half of this next week, from today to a few days from now, up to Thursday, Friday, expect rainfall, and then for the rest of that week up to 11th, you will be getting sunny days. Prepare well, prepare appropriately, dress for the weather. This is Biashara Tuesday. Going for that short break now, and then when I am back, we're having that conversation on Soko Somo, and I'm having it Somo Soko, and I'm having it with Franklin Gitau, Somo Africa, who is the regional director in Nairobi and Central Kenya. So if you're a young business and you like to exhibit what you've been up to, or you'd like to get an entrepreneur to give you some bit of advice, mentorship, network of entrepreneurs for support, this is information that you want to look forward to. Don't go too far.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na humu shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao. Na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea. Kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa OKENYE James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
They find it quite strange talking to you.
We should just make schools integrated
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
Badala ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi ndio wana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila woga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi. Hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepopa si kukufuku. Pepopa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses and we wait until we get a disease and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins such as folate have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
I am right here for your sake. Now, today we are going to talk about the beginning of a fall. But not just a fall, it is a fall never to recover. If you spend your time sleeping, na tumesema while you are drunk, your senses are sleeping. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. How are you doing today? I'm well in the Lord. I hope you are well in the Lord. First of all, I'd like to thank our Father in heaven. They say broken things can't be fixed, right? But that's a lie. Genesis chapter 3 verses 8. That evening they heard the Lord God walking in the garden, and they hid from him among the trees. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life." Catch me right here only on KUTV every single Sunday.
All right, so welcome back again. Thank you for keeping it here on Biashara Tuesday. Online, we are sampling your feedback on the hashtag Rise Today, hashtag Biashara Tuesday. You can check out my personal handles as well. Send me a DM, tag me, ask me something, comment, opine, reflect, predict. So many things that you can do. A sentence, give a shout out to someone. Ojwang Mariam anasema tubarikiwe sana. Barikiwe sana, na tunakungoja ukuje utuambie kunaendaje, what's the state of the nation. I see Valerie Nzulaf all the way from Ngong Road. Anasema I'm watching to make sure you are really on air. I don't know why do you have to confirm? I'm always on air Tuesdays morning. Shout out to Fish Town, all the way from the United States, man, like from the City of Angels all the way to Michigan. We are giving you a thumbs up and thank you for supporting the show so far. Ndege ODG, Ndege Edgar, Natona from Laikipia, Nyahururu iko Laikipia. Yes, Nyahururu Laikipia is an unpaid medical intern. Anasema as an unpaid medical intern, taking my time to watch Biashara Tuesday. Asante sana, tutakupigania haki zako hadi wakulipe na ama wakuongezee ako kwa kitu. Thank you for tuning in. Antheuri from all the way in hajasema anatuona kutoka wapi, but asante Antheuri. Please do let us know signal imefika hadi wapi. Right. It's time for a discussion on business, and who else to speak to us about business than someone who's taking care of so many businesses, not just one business, but as a platform that has opened doors for so many entrepreneurs. Some of them who have been on this show, and I always love it when an entrepreneur shows up on Biashara Tuesday and mentions a previous entrepreneur who we've had here on the show, and we get to hear of the updates and the success that is out there. It's so inspiring. So please keep coming and telling us of what your innovations are like that are an inspiration to our audience and an inspiration to us as well. As I always say, this is an opportunity for me to get free business lessons, and I hope you take it as such. Grab your notebook and paper, because at this point, I want to introduce one man by the name of Franklin Gitau. I'll allow him to let us know of his capacity in Somo Soko. They're trying to build Africa, one entrepreneur at a time. So how are they doing it, and how can you participate? Let the man himself introduce himself to the show, and then we can get into the meat of the discussion. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Have fun with our audience. Let them know who you are and what Somo Soko is all about.
Thank you so much. Good morning, our viewers. My name is Franklin Gitau, and I work with an organization called Somo Africa. We empower entrepreneurs to change the world by providing them with the tools that they need to start and operate successful enterprises. And our approach encompasses a bootcamp training, mentorship, advisory, access to market, and access to finance.
That's like everything.
Yes.
Starting business always wants to hear access to market. Where is the market at? Where is the money at? But before we get into Somo Soko itself, first, thank you for creating time, of course, and for the work that you're doing to support entrepreneurs. The business environment in Kenya looks very tricky right now. If you speak to most business owners, they will say 2024 has been a very tough year. We've seen a number of them close, a number relocate from Kenya. I don't know if that's the same POV you have from where you sit at, but just a general overview of the state of business in Kenya, especially in 2024.
Thank you. And to answer that, I'll take us back to 2018 when Kenya National Bureau of Statistics released a report showing that 46% of these MSMEs close after 1 year since after they start. And I think situations from them have really deteriorated. We were hit by COVID-19 in 2019 and 2020. We've not yet recovered from that. We've also seen the business environment not being so friendly in terms of the taxes and requirements that are required for you to start and operate a business in Kenya. So we've seen that the environment, more can be done, especially with support from the non-profit organization, the private sectors, and the government. There is still a lot that can be done. And maybe to shed some light why these MSMEs are important, 80% of jobs in Africa comes from these small businesses. A report by Kenya Small Business Development Center, who are our partner in the ecosystem, showed that 30% of these small businesses contribute to 30% of our economic output in the non-agricultural sector. And another research showed that these MSMEs as much as they contribute, they play a significant role in terms of creating jobs, alleviating poverty, and contributing to the economic growth. They only contribute to 3% of our GDP in Kenya. So it is important that we are having this conversation, and it is important that we devise ways to support these small and medium enterprises.
All right. A life cycle of 1 year since inception, and there's also a common statistic as well that a lot of startups do not last 3 years. As much as it's innovative, as much as it's futuristic, has a lot of support, has a team, has funding, and we've seen even situations where businesses and startups have received a lot of funding and eventually closed for one reason or another. As an entrepreneur who's beginning, or as a young person who's trying my business journey, it will be discouraging to think that that's what they're all, that's all there is in the Kenyan market. Yeah. What's the successful life cycle? How does it look like?
A successful life cycle is an entrepreneur who has accessed the skills to run a business, because majority of the businesses that we have encountered in Kenya is that somebody starts a business for necessity. Maybe I want to sustain myself in my livelihood, or maybe I want to, I have lost my job and I need to survive. But a successful entrepreneur is the one that first they have gone through some entrepreneurship or business training. They have, or they are constantly having mentorship, advisory, and mentorship, advisory, and somebody is working with them to show them the way. There is also some instances of they have accessing capital to continuously boost their businesses, grow their operations, and continue to produce more of what they do. And most importantly, they have an access to market in terms of they have fully exhausted the targeted market locally, and they're exploring in the international market. And in a nutshell, I think a successful entrepreneur or a successful business will constantly be replenishing their skills. They'll continuously continue building network, and they will continuously know how they can serve their customers better and tap into both local and international market.
I hear that's very important, necessary starting points there for business. So is it actually a misconception? Because for most young people, they'll tell you that mimi nipatie tu mita, nitajipanga. Ideas niko nazo mingi sana. Finance doesn't factor in that much.
Yes.
At the beginning.
Yes, because, and I'll give a case example. Of course, I'll not mention our business, but through experience, we have witnessed entrepreneurs who have received huge investments when they are starting. And if you receive such an investment and your business has not grown to a capacity to absorb that, then that has a detrimental effect. You will not be able to handle the employees or to grow your business in such a way that it is absorbing that. And we have also seen a case whereby when we sit with these entrepreneurs, we ask them, do you really need investments at this point, or do you need to curate a way that your business is generating revenue and that it grows organically to the point that you will get, and then now when these investments are done, you can actually absorb and you can actually see where they are going to be channeled to. So I have seen that there are so many instances that people believe that you need 1 million to start the business. That is not the case. And even at some of what we do, we start with you with some grant equity financing of between 50,000 to 185,000, and then from there we continue to invest based on necessity and based on where your business capacity and growth is, what your business requires for the extra invention. For those businesses that have grown in that way, they have a long growth trajectory. The owner of this business will have a good opportunity to understand what do the market need, where do I need to invest more? Because we have seen businesses that have, especially those that receive that huge investment, and maybe you didn't get your market right. So the fall will be great, but if you get capital bit by bit, as you learn the market, as you adjust, as you try to focus on what the customers need, you will find that maybe you started with this, in this angle, but as you grow, you slowly pivot to what the customers would require.
Right. So money could be a problem if you're not ready for it, and therefore probably not your immediate need when you're at a certain stage of the market. And I like that, market research is even more important at that point than the investment that you require, because you might even bring a product to somewhere that you think is needed and it's not. An example a friend of mine always gives me is, you move into a new town, you find there's no supermarket, you say, wow, voila, acha niwafungulia hapa supermarket moja bomba. And you stay with your stock wondering what is happening, but you haven't really even understood what is the sustenance for this area of people.
Yes.
Maybe they don't even shop, they have their own farms, they get their own food. So if you start a food business in this location, it's not going to thrive.
Yeah.
So it's important, yes, that for sure. And you're afraid to mention names, but I have a couple of names. We have the likes of Copia, who also started something of delivery, and it didn't work. We have a bunch of others who've tried food delivery services, and we've seen, that the investment, they weren't really ready for it, as you've mentioned, because of that lack of understanding of the market. So how do you have resources that, because I see it's Somo Soko. Somo is learning education.
Yes, Somo is a Swahili word meaning lesson. So we learn from entrepreneurs in how they manage different business models, because I'll tell you, running a textile model is different from running an agro-processing model. And they also get to learn from us, from our vast knowledge and experience in business and
so knowledge is like the core for Somo.
So we learn lessons from each other, from our entrepreneurs and from the team and from our partners and from the key players in the ecosystem.
All right, so we have a partnership here between you, the Kenya Industry and Entrepreneurship Project. We have strengthening Kenya's innovation ecosystems. Could you maybe let us in a bit on those partnerships and how they are also helping the journey that Somo Soko is in?
Yes. So through our partnership with KIEP, Skies, we've been doing a cohort specifically focusing on agro-processing and manufacturing sectors in Kenya. And we have run it in Western Kenya and Kiambu County. And we were focusing, we are one of the intermediaries, because there are so many intermediaries who are also partaking in the project. So specifically for us, we were targeting 120 MSMEs in those two sectors. And these MSMEs, 60 of them were supposed to get now our full services. That is the business and entrepreneurship training. We've also done access to market, advisory. We've done an innovation challenge whereby we got those businesses and then we organized an innovation challenge that aside from what these businesses came into our program with, they kind of try to have new innovations around the area that they operate with. So we've done that. And the last part of now the project that we are doing with the KIEP is us making this business access market through our Somo Soko. And so far, the Somosoko 2024 is scheduled as follows. We are starting with in Mombasa at Fort Jesus. We are targeting to have 100 entrepreneurs. That is the participants for the KIEP, from our entrepreneur, from the our program, and from our partners in the ecosystem. We also be doing another Somosoko on 29th of November in Kisumu at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Ground. Again, we are targeting the same number, 100 from KIEP, from our own portfolio, and from our partners in the Western ecosystem. And we'll have a grand finale in Nairobi on 7th of December at the Village Market. Again, we're targeting the same number from the KIEP, those that graduated recently from Kiambu, from our own ecosystem, and from our partners for Somosoko 2024.
All right. So that's maybe just to say what you just informed us of there. 23rd November, Fort Jesus in Mombasa, Somosoko at the coast. In Western, Somosoko is at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Ground on the 29th of November. And then there's that grand finale, if I can call it as such, in Nairobi at Village Market on 7th of December. Before we get into, what's going to happen, how the stalls are going to look like, why people should go and who can go. This seems like a pilot, like the flagship project for Somo Africa.
Yes.
Are there others on the side before we get into the details of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've as part of our access to market program, we our entrepreneurs will get to sell their product through our Somo Duka. So these entrepreneurs, those that deals with product, they have an opportunity to take their product at our Somo Duka, and then we sell on their behalf. We also have other programs, such as we also link them to international market through our linkages. We also have participates in flea markets that are organized by, for example, Masai Market and other flea market opportunities. We constantly invite these entrepreneurs to come and sell their product. We also partner with our partner organizations in the ecosystem when they're having such similar events. So there is a lot that we do in terms of access to market, because we believe that customers are the heartbeat of any business. If customers are not able to buy from your business, you will not survive. And we constantly try to see how we can expose them to such markets. And the thing is, these flea markets work as experiential learning, because when you go there, you get to see how different people selling similar products that you have, how they have done the fine-tuning, the finishing of these products, and maybe you get to learn one or two things. Apart from that, you get feedback from the buyers. Maybe you've been used to selling to customers around Kiambu or around your local area, but when you participate in these markets, you get an opportunity to get feedback from even international customers. For example, some of these places that we are hoping to that will be our entrepreneurs will be showcasing, they have international clients. Look, for example, like Village Market. Even when you visit there as an entrepreneur, and I would encourage, if you are in business, visit such places, because you get to learn a lot. They are doing the same thing that you are doing. The only thing they are doing maybe is fine-tuning and ensuring their quality is okay because of the clients that they serve. Yeah.
So you might be seated somewhere wondering, why is my honey not going international like my friend who's now become big with it, or mbona mimi avocado zangu zinaenda tu Kirigiti na hazifiki Europe. So these are the places where you can now get to see, you see the packaging, you see how they do the quality, and also just to learn as you've been mentioning.
And it's not that it's bad to be selling to
To
the
the
local
local,
market.
yes.
But if you have those plans of advancing your business, well, I think that is the aspiration for any business person, that I want to sell to my local customers, and I also want to explore the international one. So if you have that aspiration, I think it will be prudent for you to also kind of try to see what they are doing.
Yeah. And also a transfer of knowledge, even not necessarily to help you grow to the international market, but even to learn how someone is doing business elsewhere, and how is it successful there, and how can I translate that to my own locale. So this is the things we are expecting in the market stalls.
Yes.
There's going to be those kind of exhibitions.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot to expect, and I love it when entrepreneurs meet. Last year we did Somosoko in Mombasa, and we had entrepreneurs from the western side of this country, from Nairobi and from Tanzania. And when they met, they were thinking of, if maybe I only have my stall in Western Kenya, and I have my fellow entrepreneurs in Mombasa. So can we link so that my product can be accessed by the customers who want them in Mombasa? Yeah. So they were also able to exchange a lot, especially from, you see, these entrepreneurs from different locations, they deal with the same product, but they are slightly differentiated as per the needs of the people that they serve. For example, look at an entrepreneur from Arusha in North Tanzania. Yeah, so the product that they have are finely tuned as per the customers in northern Tanzania. So when they meet, they get also a chance to learn from, okay, what are they doing here? If I wanted to serve marketing across East Africa, do I need also to
needs?
Yes. Yeah. So it is really great that even by the virtue of the fact that these entrepreneurs meet, there is a lot that they can learn. And one thing also is the aspect of our main focus is for these entrepreneurs to come to sell, and in instances where they don't sell, they'll make future
potential
selling, because there are some who will meet clients there, and they can customize them as per what the client will need. Another important thing is the fact that they get that feedback that they can grow, and they get also a chance to learn from the different players in the market. So why should any members of the public come and to this? First of all, it will be a festive season, so this is the time that we are buying gifts for our families. We are trying to support the people that have been with us the whole year, and these entrepreneurs, when we're talking about buy local, build Africa. Yeah, and I know we've pushed this for a very long time.
We've sung this song alright
for a very long time. And let's build our own local. We cannot grow the economy when you are buying from the goods that have been imported. And so I think when you come there, you're supporting a family, and we said that supporting an entrepreneur has a spiral effect. For example, we said that 80% of jobs in Africa are made by these small entrepreneurs. So when you come and support one entrepreneur there, it has a spiral effect in terms of this is cascading down to their families, to the people that they have employed. So you are kind of supporting we as Kenyans. And when we were starting the show, we said that the environment in Kenya, the business environment in Kenya is not good. But what can we do about it? We can support them by buying from them. Apart from that, there will be we are trying to make it very customer friendly. So we'll have fun activities. We'll have a kid section whereby they can come. So you can come with your family to buy. We'll have a competition activities. I think it will be an opportunity. We are trying to make the customer experience as important. You're not just coming to buy from these entrepreneurs, but you're coming to have a buying experience from over 100 entrepreneurs in the 3 regions.
Yeah. All right. So I like especially the part where, you know, it's a call to action to Kenyans, that we keep saying the business environment is not doing good. The government should create an enabling environment. And, you know, as we are waiting for that to happen, it's important that we also chip in, support a local SME, buy from that local, you know, honey seller, go to, you know, that exhibition, find someone who does peanut butter, who does whatever it is that you want household items, you want, you know, something someone is making and they're making it in their least capacity. It's really important that is a way that you're showing support towards the economy.
Yes, and let me just say that it is not that the government is not trying, maybe not as what we would wish, because this Somosoko and what we've been doing in the agro-processing and manufacturing sectors is a project that is sponsored by the Ministry of Investments, Trade
and Industry.
And we have also invited them to come and launch these markets. And on top of that, we will be doing a pre-event, an X-Space on 7th of November. That is this Thursday from 2:30 to 4 p.m. And we'll have also key experts in the ecosystem to also discuss about this issue. And we're also hoping that the ministry also will provide us with a person to talk about the perspective of what the government is also doing. Sometimes I also feel like, you know, the government can also not fight back. We'll only see this aspect. Probably they don't share also where they're coming from or some of the things that they are doing. But I know that there is a lot that also they can do. And when we collaboratively, the government, the non-governmental organizations, the private sector, we as households and the citizens of this country, we can collaboratively do that to support our environment. It is not something that can be left to the government alone to do. Me and you and households, we can do what we can to support these small and medium enterprises. And why is it important that, why are we not talking about the large businesses? It is because these small and medium enterprises are the ones that grows to become
the big businesses.
The big business. But they face a greater risk because, first of all, the financial institutions are reluctant to lend them money. You know, because they have a high risk, as we've said, 1 year, 3 years, they face the risk of closure. So, but when we support them, when we collaboratively try to see how we can support them, they are the ones that grows into big companies, and they are the ones that have employed a lot of people. So I think it is important that we don't just look it on the NGO sector has not done this, the government sector have not done this, but when we come together, we can really support them, and the idea is to make them into large businesses.
That's really positive because, you know, it's tough to find someone who has successfully either collaborated with the government to do business or has tried to get funding. We have the Youth Fund, Women Empowerment Fund. So when these positive stories come out, it shows also that, you know, efforts are not going unnoticed and it's possible still. As you said, the government is not able to fight back. It's not able to come here and, you know, defend itself every day. And when we highlight some of the things that are happening in the background, like what you're doing with MITI and, you know, KIEP as well. So it's inspiring to the young people to keep trying, and collaboratively we can do better for business. Financial support, you mentioned a couple of figures earlier, 50,000 to 80,000, maybe a bit of info on how that works. And do I need to be a part of Somo Africa for me to get access to that?
Let me start that by giving us a brief background about Somo. So we started in 2016 in the informal settlements in this country, because we believe that those are the areas that the government has not fully infiltrated. And our main hub is in Kibera, We also have another hub in Kayole and a production facility in Githurai. I think one time we can introduce you and your team to come and do some of the things that we are doing there.
Please, thank you.
For one of the Biashara Tuesday.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
it will be,
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we also have a hub that serves the western Kenya and the coastal Kenya, and then we are in North Tanzania, and recently we expanded to Uganda. So since 2016, we have supported over 10,000 through our digital training tools. We believe that these entrepreneurs, they don't have maybe time to fully commit to a program. So in that instances, we appeal to them by having our digital training tool that we call Digisomo, where these entrepreneurs can self-pace them and access this training. So we have also reached out to over 3,500 entrepreneurs in our academy. That is the 3-month bootcamp training. And through that, we've been able to graduate over 10,000 entrepreneurs from our academy. And we also managed to create, through forward and backward linkages, we've been able to support our entrepreneurs have been able to create over 16,000 jobs. So as part of our access to finance, we've been able to support over 600 businesses through our access to finance program. So, and just to share how that happens is that you will first join Somo through our digital tools, the Digisomo. You'll get a chance to interact with our 14 modules that you self-pace them. You can access them via a smartphone or a simple features phone, what we call Kabambe. So you'll give you a number, you dial, and then you are
it's on USSD?
Yes, on USSD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then you can also access the content via WhatsApp. So once you have completed that, we also now shortlist you for joining the Buruka program, which is a 3 months training program. So you are given an opportunity to pitch about your business, you interact with the mentors, you interact with trainers, and at the end of the program, you write some business plan that is submitted to our external judges. So they are able to evaluate that, and they select those that will fit, those that we could work with, and those that we can support them. So once you are shortlisted, we start with you with the grant equity. So this is what I had mentioned. It is between 50 to 185,000. This depends with the business needs to launch. So that's why you said, like, you cannot tell us that you need 1 million. When we sit down with you, a machine that you were thinking, maybe somebody thinks that they can start a business with a machine worth 200,000 to serve maybe 50 people. We discuss with you and we see maybe you can start with a machine worth 20,000 to just start with
organically.
To maybe start with 10, and after you have exhausted, then we graduate you to that. So we provide both. We provide those grant equity. We do offer grants as well through our Inuka Pitch competition, where we open entrepreneurs across Kenya and TZ to compete, and the winner gets some grant equity. And then we offer soft loans at a very discounted rate of flat rate of 5% per annum. So these now are the businesses that now have exhausted they are above the launch stage. They have tested the market. They have known what they need. There is a clear demand for their product. Now they are now coming for the loans from Somo to expand their businesses. And our belief is that we will cap it when you are getting from Somo, but there is a level that you will get that you can't get these loans from Somo. For example, you can get up to 1.5 million, and then from there now, we believe that we'll connect you to our other to potential investors, and then we believe at that time you have built your confidence and you can approach financial institutions, and you can get loan at the current market rate.
That's a really better pipeline than what I'm used to in the especially the startup scene in Kenya, where I have an idea, look for a co-founder, write a business plan, move around pitching.
Yeah.
Which is, you've not even taken time to see what kind of skills do we have, both of us, what do our markets need, and can we try and grow organically? I think that's the biggest lesson I've picked here, which is try and grow your revenues first before looking for investment, or before finding for the need or looking for that need for investment. You're giving soft loans at way low price interest rates, which is lower than banks at 12% and 14%.
Our idea, or what we would want, is we deal with the entrepreneurs that are on the ideation stage. They haven't fully conceptualized the business. So that is most of the entrepreneurs that we serve. We also serve entrepreneurs that have started, have done business for a long time on the growth stage. But our idea is that for these entrepreneurs that are on the ideation stage, how can we grow them to the point that they are ready, they are investor ready?
Okay.
Because, and I think that is the thing that differentiates between SOMO and other entrepreneur support organizations. Most of the entrepreneur support organization would want a business that have a formal structure, like they have formalized, they make certain revenue in a year, maybe they have some managerial capabilities, and before they get there, there has to be one who is constantly working with them to ensure that they are at a point of investor ready. So we will grow with you. We will want you to start to launch the business, grow it. We'll continue supporting them even after we've grown them to a particular level. But at that point now, we believe that now they can, as you are saying now, they have grown organically. So now they can go to the next step of continuing to pitch about their businesses, continuing to receive more investments, and we can confidently say that most of the businesses that we have worked to, they have really grown to the level that we also exposing them to other ESOs in the ecosystem for that extra level.
Not to say you have favorites, but are there a few success stories that you can point out, or success companies that you can mention?
So now I'll get into trouble because I have served with a lot of businesses, especially in Nairobi and Central Kenya and Coastal Kenya. And I also have, I'm also inspired by very many businesses in Western Kenya and Tanzania. But let me say that I will not mention about the business, but I can mention about the innovations.
Okay, sure.
There is this one particular business in Coastal Kenya that for a very long time, especially when you look at the Shimoni. Shimoni is an area that the problem of electricity is so rampant. Sometimes electricity goes off and then they stay for like a week without it being restored. I believe maybe by now things maybe have changed, but there was this business that we've worked with that fishermen faced a challenge in terms of they cannot harvest fish. They only harvest fish that can be consumed in that particular day. Yeah, so every time they wake up, they go to the ocean, they fish, and then they sell. If they don't sell all of them, then they go bad. So there was this business that launched something that is called Kuza Freezer. Yeah, so specifically targeting for fishermen. So he's using energy from the sun to build freezers. And these freezers are portable, and the fishermen can actually now harvest fish
and keep it for longer.
Even harvest more. They don't have to go the following day to harvest. I think that is also conserving our ocean and marine ecosystem.
Yeah.
So they harvest enough for that day, and they can store them, and the consumer will get them as fresh as they can. Yeah, so you see that one, even if the challenge of it, even if there is a power outage in that area, the fisherman will confidently go to their to the ocean, get the fish, store them and sell them up to the last point before they go back to the ocean. Right. There is also one here in Nairobi that is doing a lot in terms of climate action. That is a very rampant and a current issue.
Yes, sustainability.
Yeah. So this business is they're located at the backyard of Mama Lucy, and what they do, part of what they do is they grow vegetables and our indigenous veggies, and part of what they do is that they sell to the hospital, targeting the kids section. So the hospital and the kids sections, they actually consume organically grown
food,
vegetables. Yes. And they also teach the urban dwellers about how they can take advantage of their little backyards and balconies to grow their food organically. Because somebody said that if you can be in a position to grow your own foods in your to grow your own food, you can imagine how that can do to somebody, especially in this economy. You are growing, you don't need to buy some of these things. You can, through urban farming, they can come and set for you how you can do that. And then this business was also visited by the king.
When he was making his trip in 2023.
Yes, when he was here. We also seen some very innovative businesses. I think one of them was you hosted them just sometimes back. This is Kono Farm. They're making Kono cream from snails, slime. They're also making pizza using snails. We also have another one who is, you see, for the fertilizers, they're making chicken feeds from BSF.
What's BSF?
Black soldier fly. So they have a formula that they are mixing the BSF larvae to make chicken feeds, and that one becomes cheaper than the feeds from the agrovets. And there is so much, like when you look at the Western Kenya, you're also inspired by the blue economy, the innovations around the blue economy. We've seen one that is using water hyacinth to make furnitures. Very, very awesome product. I think they will be showcasing at Somosoko. So you can see these people are not just making money. They are not just there to make money. They are making solutions. Like the problem of water hyacinth had been a perennial problem. In Lake Victoria, in Kenya. I think even Lake Naivasha also do experience such issues. But we have people who are using that and making product from there, solving the society's problem as they get to create jobs, they get to contribute to the GDP, and by that they are contributing also to the challenge of climate change.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Of course, that's some of the innovations you can expect to see if you actually create time and attend, which you should, in Coast, in Western Kenya, and in Nairobi, which will happen in December. I'll be giving my guest a chance to also remind us of how we can do that. If you're an entrepreneur who wants to showcase, if there's a chance for you, if you want to come and just see, sample the products, how that looks for you, like for you. Let me just read quick feedback here. Fishware, anasema big up engineer OKENYE, streaming the show live outside of Outer Maryland. Leo tunapeleka Trump Ocha. Fishtown amefika Maryland just a couple of months ago na anataka kupeleka Trump nyumbani. But asante sana for tuning in. Keep streaming. Always loving that you're supporting us home and away. Love to see it. Mbecha Philip from the Vultures. Vultures are the hockey club or the hockey men's team of Kenyatta University. Anasema, I am locked in. This is informative na make hapo $sign. Asante sana. I'll read the rest of the feedback online. That's from WhatsApp and also on the live stream, KUTV Kenya, and also on social platforms at Richard_OKENYE. Final call out. We've been here for a while. I've crossed the line with my producer and I'm trying to rectify it. So we could speak a lot about innovation and business because it's something I'm really passionate about. And again, shamelessly, I'm just trying to learn business. So these are free lessons for me. I could go on and on, but just to make sure that we also leave something for people to come and ask you at this, Somo Soko exhibitions, and to look forward to it. A call to action to them on how they can do that for the entrepreneurs, for the consumers, and just to generally join Somo Africa, how that opportunity looks like.
Awesome. So I'll say that
you can do it on your camera here. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So for you to participate in Somo Soko 2024 in the 3 regions, as I have mentioned, in Nairobi it will be on 7th December, in Mombasa it will be on 23rd of November, and Kisumu on 29th of November. For you to join as an independent entrepreneur, we are just charging something that is just to help us to set up your stall. It is going at 1,500 shillings for you to come and exhibit. And for you to join Somo, it's very, very simple. You go to our website, www.somoafrica.org, and then you scroll down all the way to become an entrepreneur. You'll be able to see, first of all, some of the amazing works that we've done for the entrepreneurs across Kenya. You'll also see some of the sectors that we are working in. You'll see our team there. You'll see some of our impact that we've generated, and then you'll scroll down all the way to become an entrepreneur. There's going to be a Google form that will pop up. You can fill out the details, and then once you're done, you click submit. Some of the details that you'll find there are things to just know about yourself, the business, and whether you've done it, whether for some time or you're in the ideation stage. And then there, our team will be able to reach out to you. So for me to finish, I would say that the entrepreneurs and business people are really an important society in this country. And perhaps maybe you are thinking to start a business, or you are doing the business. Sometimes it's hard because you don't get somebody to maybe tell you what the significance of what you do. But let me say that I believe in you as an organization. We also believe in you, and we just hope that your aspirations, you'll get to what you aspire to be. So that's it, I think.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming through, and you are definitely invited over again, especially after this goes down, so that we can also learn the success stories. You could come with, a couple of the entrepreneurs as well, and we have a whole, wholesome
I
panel.
like that. We'll come with the amazing entrepreneurs.
Nice.
I also want to extend an invitation to you to come to our production facility in Ekithorai. We can also show you around some of our hubs where we do the training. We'll take you through the entrepreneur journey now from our perspective. What is our theory of change, and what is the journey that we take these entrepreneurs, and where do they start? And we can even show you we can take you to some of the locations for our entrepreneurs. If you have a program that is focusing on the entrepreneur, I think that will be great for us to incorporate and integrate.
This one's us program. This
Awesome.
one, Biashara Tuesday, that's that program. So we'll come, look around, film the whole process and then showcase it
Yes.
to our audience for more inspiration. Thank you so very much, Mr. Franklin Gitau. Say hi to all the entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Send them over as well. This is an open invite to them.
Yeah.
They can show up even without you.
Awesome.
You have already laid the path for them, so it's just for them to come and have this discussion with us. Asante sana. All right, it is 8:52 in the morning. At the corner of my eye, I can see Wakili Robin. Na nimesikia kwa masikio yangu huko kwa gallery kuna mzee Ojwang Mariam. Inamaanisha in a few we are sitting down to have a discussion on what is the headlines and what are the most important stories out of your world this morning. Historic elections happening in the United States, and the nation is putting that on the front of the dailies as priorities. On the Business Daily, there's two pieces of information which have captured my eye, which is one, Kenya has been able to, KRA has been able to get 10 billion from crypto in the past financial year. And they just introduced a new digital system that is going to be integrated with the transactions. So for the next year, they'll make more money. However, the most important one is, you might be wondering, why is it that there is a comeback of the Finance Bill 2024, the tax amendment bill? It's because, again, on the Business Daily, you'll find a story that says that the IMF is saying they are backing the new taxes. So if you're wondering who's blowing the whistle or who is the piper in this case, now you know. I'll be back though to hear the feedback and the reactions and the predictions of the gentleman I just mentioned. So don't go too far. Grab yourself a copy of the dailies. This is still Biashara Tuesday.
Jina langu naitwa OKENYE James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
They find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
Interior design ni pana. Ina depends utataka pande gani. Sasa kama upande wangu mimi nime specialize na manyumba na ofisi.
Baada ya kukosa ajira kwa zaidi ya mwaka mmoja, akaamua kufanya kazi tofauti na taaluma aliyohitimu. Wiki hii katika kipindi cha Mwanamke Mwake tunamwangazia Julian Mwangi akisimulia safari ya kazi yake ya mapambo ya ndani, ukiwa nami Caroline Kimwele.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma Evans, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pa si vuguvugu, pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
A lot to talk about here this morning, from the world to locally, so we'll try as much as possible. But I have gentlemen who are appropriate for this conversation. So Joang Mariam and wakili Robin Mkuro ako hapa leo na sisi. Alikuwa ametutupa kwa muda, but you know, he's back. So we'll get to know how he's been, and then we get into the details of the dailies. Let me read the papers that I have, the headlines of the papers that I have, and then Ojong will do the Daily Nation. And ukishasoma headline, we get Robin to reintroduce himself, alafu tuanze discussion. The Standard, Justice on Trial. That's what the Standard has as the big headline this morning. 12 years of the Supreme Court has been a mixed bag for different people. The President William Ruto has his words, and the judges and the whole institution of the judiciary has a lot to say. Martha Koome there pictured alongside the former CJ David Maraga. Alafu hapa pia kuna ni ma CJs tu. Hapa tunaona CJ Willy Mutunga. Reminds me of the common tweet or the most recent popular tweet about Mutunga, which is, there's a time when the biggest problem in Kenya used to be, why does Willy Mutunga have an earring? And we discuss it for 2 months. Now we have issues every day, in and out. Anyway, it's good to see them. They're on the papers, and then a small, headshot of WSR, the man of the moment, and his quote there, which is, we always talk about judicial independence, and it is a fundamental principle of our constitution. But what happens when we have judicial overreach and interference? Robin is here to let us know what the corridors of justice have to say about that question. The Star, 200 Bunge staff with fake papers sent home. That's what the Star has prioritized this morning, and saying that there are more cheats who might likely be snuffed out in this ongoing crackdown. Kuna watu hawana makaratasi, hakuna evidence kwa karatasi, walienda shule, na suspects kadhaa pia wako hapa on the front of the papers. We'll speak about that. The Business Daily, IMF flags banks taking cheap CBK loans to invest in T-bills. In short, yani, banks zako zilisikia there is a window to fund purchases of government securities, and there's going a profit of opportunity, or opportunity for profit, and they quickly borrowed money from the CBK, saying that they're going to give it out to consumers, but waliitumia kubuy treasury bills. Do you know who else bought treasury bills with money that was not theirs? Whoever is running the affordable housing scheme. So we'll discuss about that. But why is the IMF showing up twice on the front of the Business Daily? As Ojwang teaches me every day, try and read what they're not telling you. So I'm reading the story that isn't available in the Business Daily, which is, why is the IMF on the front of my dailies talking about taxes and loans? Ojwang Mariam.
And new ways.
And new
they
ways
are saying
too.
that you're not supposed to have these people being given ati ho unawaambia unawapunguzia hii, unawapunguzia ile. Budget cuts. Mtatulipa na nini? On the Daily Nation, America decides. They're saying that this is historic polls. That's the biggest headline wameka pale hivyo. For the very first time, Ruto ni mdogo.
Even on the Standard ni mdogo leo.
Martha Koome hata ameangalia chini. Batakombelea Ruto kwa hii picha yenye naona. At stake, wanasema pale upande wa Marekani, democracy, a presidential election, unlike any other in United States history, entered its last full day yesterday with Donald Trump. Jana Monday, there was no Monday blues. White, and some Kamala Palendani. So Kamala Harris and their campaigns scrambling to get supporters to the polls in a contest, each portrays an existential moment for America. If Trump, who is 78 years, wins, he would be, or he will be, the oldest person in the US history to be elected president, while Harris, who is 60 years, will have a chance to become the first woman to hold the world's most powerful job. So ni history.
Either way, ni history.
Ni history. Hii side nyingine ikiwin ni history. Trump ako pale hivyo, yeye ni mwanabiashara. So anasema anakuja kubadilisha mambo ya economy, anasema he wants to make America great. Bado anatetea democracy. Anasema the current regime, kwanza kwa waiti nini, anasema the current regime inawaumiza excess. Hizo ndio vitu mbili ako nazo. Plus kuna another factor yenye ita play sana as people go to polls in US. Mambo ya wanaitwaje? Immigrants. That ni wengi sana. Hizi vitu tatu ndio Trump ametumia kama campaign tool ya kujituma. On the other hand, anauliza Kamala, you have been the VP, so what have you done? Ndio tuambie you will do better become president. Either way, wanasema it's a tight race, and historical in page 2 and page 3. The United States goes to the polls today in a neck-and-neck race between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. So tight is the race that both candidates stand an equal chance of occupying perhaps the most important leadership position in the world, as the world waits with bated breath what are the implications of a Harris or Trump presidency for Africa is the biggest question the Daily Nation are asking.
Nice.
Well, the Star, mnauliza mbona IMF wanatokea mara mbili bwana.
Oh goodness. Kuro, the last time I saw you, I won't say where, but it was ndio tusikue tracked. Ilikuwa during Occupy activities. Occupation activities. You're keeping well?
Niko sambamba.
Nice. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes.
Hata mimi nilikuwa nimemiss hapa.
We missed you as well. Tell us about Justice on Trial before we get into other stories. Your overall outlook. Kiangalia mambo inafanyika saa hizi. The courts have had a spotlight for the past couple of weeks, months actually, with the impeachment trials, with court cases. Even way back when I saw you, there was still, court cases about finance bill and, a lot. So it's been justice on trial for a while, if this headline is something we can go by. What do you have to say as someone who practices the law?
Okay, I'll try and put it in the simplest way possible. So I'll put it with something that everyone was watching.
Yeah.
We all watched the last case that was highlighted for us, was the Gachagwa's case. And there was an argument by the government side on things that the court has no jurisdiction over, and saying that the court cannot entertain a political question that is interference with the functions of the other arms of government. So they were calling it the principles of justiciability, if you listened to that one. And on that, the court did not side with the government. And there's a narrative that the current regime is trying to push at the moment of service for Kenya and not for villages and stuff like that. And when they are doing that, the president takes the stand on a celebration by the Supreme Court to make a stab at what actions can be taken for the courts for interfering with the government's work. What he's trying to say is, I am not happy that you failed Finance Bill 2023. I am not happy that you failed Finance Bill 2024. You just recently allowed my housing levy. We have been fighting over SHA for a while, and he's just trying to rant about the things that have not gone well for him in court, in public.
Yeah.
Ajamuita kando waonge, amekuja kutuambia sisi wote that hawa watu wanaingilia kazi yangu, ndio maana sijaweza kudeliver. Mind you, not forgetting that hata mahali tulipatana na wewe last time, tulikuwa tuna complain kuhusu another bill. Yes.
Yeah. Ojwang, kazi ya WSR, is it being interfered with? And just to follow it up, there was a mention of, public interest and national interest. Who exactly who exactly is the caretaker of national interests, if not the public? That was my first question when I had that. Where do we draw the line? Who cares of the public and the nation? I'm like, the public is taking care of national interest. That was my own POV. But from where you see it at, kazi yake inaingiliwa, is he valid? If you are Art and Culture Monday host, kila siku hapa lawyers wanakukujia hapa kukusainisha vitu, director anatokea pale si uta complain?
Iko hivi, a bad workman quarrels with his tools always. Kitu cha kwanza. Kitu cha pili, I see President Ruto on page 4 of Daily Nation anasema stick to your lane. Ruto tells judges. But haya mambo yote si yanafanyika for the public.
Yeah.
The public is us. And if it is a political question, then all politics is local. Ni kutoka pale mashinani kwa ward. Sawa. So kama hapo kwa ward, sisi ndio tunafaa kujiongelelea. Mbona wewe unataka utuongelelee kila mahali? It's like ile question huwa nasema always. Tuseme nyinyi ni wazee mko hapa nyote. Na mnataka kuongelelea vijana. Mnasahau hao vijana wako na mdomo, wako na masikio. And if they are deaf and dumb, they can still communicate. We have people like watu kama Moses Gitonga watafanya na wataongea. So sisi kama public ndo tunafaa to complain, tuseme hii si mzuri ama hii ni mzuri. For example, the things that zinafanya President Ruto rant to a point anaambia Chief Justice Martha Koome to keep to her lane ni mambo ya finance bill. Yalikuwa yanatuhusu sisi. It is the public who approaches the bench of judges who are convinced kuambia whatever the political class, the executive and legislature are doing is not constitutional. It affects us directly. Hakuna mahali Chief Justice ama hao watu wa kokoti hujiletea kesi. Kesi ni kupelekwa. Utapata hizi zote zenye President Ruto anasema anaonewa. In other words,
it is not Martha Koome who wakes up in the morning.
Hapana, ni wa Kenya. Hawa wa Kenya wenye anaongelea wao ndo wanaongea. Mambo ya SHA. Saa hizi ukisoma kwa gazeti The Standard na Daily Nation na pia the Business Daily wanaongea kuhusu how 90% of private hospitals are shunning people who are coming to seek services using SHA, kwa sababu wanasema SHA inadileisha pesa, hawalipii stima. Kama haulipii stima hakuna mashini za dialysis zitafanya, and for that reason kama hauna private insurance cover kama Jubilee, sijui AP, hizo zote ni ngumu usaidike wapi? Kwa private hospitals. Wa Kenya ndo watalia na wanaenda mahakamani, wanasema mahakama. At this point tunataka mcheck hii power to this level. Si ati judiciary ndo inakuwa imecheck. That is the different thing by the between executive, legislature and judiciary. Executive wao huamka, wanatengeneza policies, wanataka ziimplementiwe. Sawa. Legislature wao wako at least juu mimi naweza chukua petition niwapelekee niwaambie ongeleleeni. But that's not what they do. Wanachukua ile wamepewa na CS fulani na president through the CS waongelele. The judiciary na wao huchukua hiyo ambayo wa Kenya wa kawaida through wabunge ama mawakili wanaleta. Wanasema executive walienda wakatupangia housing levy. Manze hakuna mtu yeyote anaitaka, hata walevi na Leviticus pia hata wakikuja Kenya hawataitaka. Sawa. So hiyo yao ya judiciary ni from the people. So at this point, yes, ni ukweli vile unasema that you have worries, we have lost hope in the judiciary, but it's the same thing. Time utapeleka kesi yako na isikizwe, utapraise judiciary. For example, at one point kesho President Ruto anaweza simama na aseme judiciary wamefanya kazi mzuri sana, wameguza mlima tukiguza na watu wakapata holiday. Hiyo si ni maendeleo.
Kazi mzuri sana.
But kesho hiyo ingine ama kesho kutwa aambiwe hiyo SHA
ikwende
asha atasema hapana, stick to your lane.
True. Mkuro, there's quote by William Ruto, President. We always talk about judicial independence and it is a fundamental principle of our constitution. But what happens when we have judicial overreach and interference? Is there judicial overreach and interference? Recently there was the housing levy case, which the courts decided that there was enough public participation. So apart from President William Ruto, pia kuna vilio hapa na pale tunajipata, as Ojwang says, leo judiciary watamua kitu, hata sisi Kenya tuseme hey, public participation ilifanywa wapi? Nani alikuambia? Waiting on the case of Gachagua and lifting of orders of Kindiki, something which, the public ilikuwa the other side, while William Ruto and, the courts were on this other side. Is there judicial overreach and interference? And is there even need to think there is, there's necessity for checks for the judiciary?
Okay, let me start by clarifying this thing.
Yes.
That the Constitution is supreme to every other law. The principle of judicial independence does not arise from just the judiciary. It arises from the principle of separation of powers. When we were giving ourselves a new constitution, that is one of the things we put as our national value and principle of governance under Article 10. It was the key thing that we were looking. Wakati unasikia huku nje watu wakisema Kenya has the most progressive constitution, it is because of things like that. And it had already envisaged situations like this on how we can deal with separation of powers between the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So number one, to note that all these judges, judicial officers, staff, and everyone is employed by a judicial service commission. The commissioners of that judicial service commission are appointed by the president. When the president was being sworn in, he was sworn in by the Chief Justice. All these people have been balancing and checking each other from the beginning. That was the design of our constitution. So ni vibaya kujaribu kuelezea watu na kuwakalisha ni kama hakuna recourse ya judiciary ikifanya makosa. There is a clear way of even dealing with a judge. One of the issues that was put in for Rigathi Gachagua in his impeachment was his reaction to a case he lost and his reaction to a specific judge. And he said that he had also brought a complaint to the Judicial Service Commission in line with the procedures on how you express dissatisfaction. So at that particular point, you can already tell if there's a specific judge who has been overstepping. There's an easy way of reaching to them and providing evidence that this has been done and this has been done. Kindiki, when we were in maandamano, we saw and we watched as our comrades were being shot and killed. He came to parliament and said that we should provide evidence to the police of them shooting or anybody who has been killed. But then they can come and say some judges or the judiciary is overstepping, but they cannot point to a specific judge who has done something out of the ordinary. As he has also pointed out that the judiciary does not create litigation on its own motion. It is someone who brings that case. I was in court with IEBC over producing, over independent candidates producing copies of IDs. We won that case against IEBC. Now, was the court at that point overreaching on the work of the IEBC or the elections of August 20, or interfering with the elections of August 2022? No, it was not. If at all the judge would have done something wrong, the judge who ruled on that case was now moved to the Court of Appeal. When President Uhuru was leaving, he was leaving with bad blood with the judiciary because he had refused to appoint some judges because he felt these ones have a problem of harsh shenanigans. When President Ruto got into office, aliwapisha saa moja asubuhi wote. Now he's here complaining to us
about the same people
that they are overreaching in his work or interfering with his work. If at all they are, then you had been warned even before. Not even the processes, you had been warned
by your boss before. Yes. Justice on trial. So this, Ojwang, a false headline?
No. It's not false. Justice is on trial.
Justice is on trial.
Because we are in a democratic country. That's why we have the constitution. I told you something. Sometimes some people may think they are above that constitution. But when you see them crying, it should down on anyone else or everyone else that no one is above that supreme law. If anyone is above that supreme law, President Ruto would not be ranting. He would be actualizing. Anasema, huyu jaji ndo alifanya hii na hii na hii na ndio evidence na anamtoa kwa ofisi. Lakini hawezi fanya hivyo juu kuna constitution. The best he can do is cry as we are crying. The Chief Justice pia, kuna wakati alikuwa amelia sana na akasema, mimi niliwacha kuwatch news. Kwa nini? There's so much injustices. Yet you are the chief justice.
Hataki kuona injustice.
So hapo hivyo kitu hakuongeza pale mwisho ni kitu ambacho kila Mkenya umaliza nacho. Serikali saidia.
Hata President William Ruto jana kidogo
hata
serikali saidia tafadhali.
Serikali saidieni. Nani anaangalia powers za hao majaji?
Okay. The constitution is the most supreme law, na tusha agree.
Yes.
If anything,
I need to comment on mambo ya public participation.
Yes. As you comment that, nilikuwa tu niongeze that we could even see it recently with Rigathi Gachagua. You know, when stuff catches up with you, suddenly you can quote the constitution. Suddenly you know how the constitution applies. So really, the constitution is above everyone. Even President William Ruto, I'm sure deep down, hiyo ndio kitu inampatia kiwewe. Kwa sababu whatever else he can try and do on this beef between him, or this standoff between him and the judiciary, he knows the law will still catch up with him. Public participation.
Public participation.
Yes.
Every project, whether it's a good project or bad project, must go through public participation. From the county level to national government level. But what the ruling class is doing is that watu wanafanya public participation, they are not taking their views into consideration. Wao wana stick to about this thing tulifanya public participation. But public participation inafaa ikuje kama vile kuko bunge. All those in favor of this opinion say aye and nay. For example, during the public participation of the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, it was clear that all Kenyans were saying, impeach both. That is not what we saw in parliament. They said, Kenyans said,
impeach Gachagua.
That is not what Kenyans had said. Sindio? Leta mambo ya chief shani nini hizo zote. Roho hakuna mahali huwa anakosa public participation. I want leo atuambie mahali alienda public participation ya kusema either Adani deal ni nzuri ama ni mbaya. Sawa? Na kama his views were considered.
Right.
Presidential term yenye nataka kuongezewa from 5 to 7, a bill proposed by the senators Samson Cherargei, 99% walisema si nzuri, si ndio? That is not what they are saying. In fact, he reported that 60% of Kenyans want the term to be extended and 40% are against or opposing it. If saa hizi tuko miaka 2.5 na Wakenya wamechoka hii design, wamechoka na Ruto, ni Mkenya gani mwingine anasema tusiende election 2027, kitu ambacho wamezoea kutoka 1992 sikuwa nimezaliwa hiyo December. In fact, that was the election yenye mama yangu bado alikuwa mzito sana. Nilizaliwa January 1993 25th.
Ulingoja multi-party democracy.
Exactly. At that point, my dad was being sworn in as councillor for Majengo ward. And by then, the former MP Roysambu was being sworn in as MP Nyeri. Kutoka huo wakati, watu wamekuwa wakifanya election 5 years. But it is in Ruto's regime that election cycle will change. It is in Ruto's regime that the university funding model is not working and he needs to change the policy. It is still in his regime that the NHIF is not working na inafaa iletewa Wahindi wa deal nayo through Adani deal na Chief na Shah. It is in, yani hii regime yenye tuko sasa ni ya kuchange tu policy. Kwake hiyo miaka yote yenye amekuwa hakuna kitu imekuwa ikiwaka. Saizi ndio wanataka abadilishe. So hizi public participation aziko. Ukisoma the Standard page 4 wanaongea kuhusu how they want to curtail the freedom of speech and expression in this country. They are using Geoffrey Ruku MP Mbeere North,
yes,
to table that motion. Wakate. So ikiwa mahakamani kila mtu analia hakuendelei vizuri, ikiwa public participation haiko, na hata ikiwa it is just a rubber stamp, where will these Kenyans have their say then? Right. If not on the streets, if not occupying those offices?
I'm telling you that even in that new bill, wanasema public participation inasema wana support the demonstration bill of 2024.
Imagine.
That we really need to curtail our demonstrations.
Acha to put it clear. In July of was it 2019 or July of 2019, I think, or 2018, I was on national television because I appeared before the BBI committee to give proposals on what I would like to see for Kenyans. So I gave a raft of proposals. One of them was the creation of an office of public participation rapporteur, because I felt that as a country, we do not have a threshold or we do not have a regulation of what public participation is. As at now, public participation is you putting a notice in the Gazette, you holding, giving water and putting a tent at Kahawa West Market and having a PA and bringing the chief and the ward administrators to the venue just to speak on a specific issue. Not to do anything, not to pick anything from what they are doing, but just doing that is enough for court to say that public participation was conducted for Nairobi to have things called barrows that have never been implemented for 2 years and have used 5 billion to date. But you cannot challenge it on public participation because it was done. So I proposed the office of the public participation rapporteur, who would also not only take notice. If you realize, when parliament comes to any place or they're doing anything, they insist that you speak to the speaker, to the mic, because the Hansard is recording. Because that there's a record of what was said.
Yes.
But when we have public participation, if you are not there, there is no record of what was said, and what was done, who spoke. That is not their problem. So I give that example just to show that at the end of the day, the BBI report included a proposal for an creation of an office of public participation rapporteur. I was the happiest person on earth because I could feel that my participation before the committee was actually meaningful, because at the end of the day, my idea was taken.
Your public participation about public participation,
yes,
was taken.
Yes.
Yes.
And then BBI ikaenda ikafanya hiyo mambo, but you don't see me here saying the Chief Justice has overreached on my idea.
Yes, there are due processes in place for that.
So BBI failed. But that idea, as it stands, is still alive up to date.
Yeah.
It's still something we can carry forward, and it does not need even a referendum.
That sounds like an office of the citizen.
Yes.
Right. I like it.
But in all the shenanigans, we take it back to, we host the UN. And last year, the UN Habitat here hosted the UN Habitat Assembly. The theme, the President Ruto went to open it. The theme for UNHATU was meaningful participation and active engagement. How do you get to do meaningful participation, and how do you get to actively engage your people or your citizens?
Yes.
The irony that we are now an year later talking about public participation,
or the lack
thereof.
Page 4 of the Standard is where MPs are plotting to trim citizens' freedom of expression. Let me read this out for you so that you get as angry as possible. Ndio tuweze kupatana tena na Robin mahali fulani. Actually, they don't want us to meet again. Ndio wamepanga hapa. Shida ni hawataki tupatane.
Wanapanga kutumaliza.
Hivi ndio wanapanga kutumaliza baba. Some of the proposals. The bill proposes establishment of regulating officers with powers to cancel planned protests. Regulating officers are responsible for receiving notifications and maintaining a register of scheduled demonstrations. Organizers can appeal regulating officers' decisions before a high court. Protesters are prohibited from wearing disguises, masks, or attires resembling police or military uniforms. Participants are similarly barred from carrying anything which can be described as a weapon. Anything which can be described as a weapon. At a dance deadly. Police inspectors or higher ranking officers could halt gatherings they believe pose a threat to public order. Organizers will be held liable for damages or disturbances. The standard missed it, but there's also a part of the proposal which says that before a demonstration, you need to provide a list of names of the organizers of that demonstration. Organizers face strict duties for maintaining order, appointing marshals to guide protesters. Organizers or attending unauthorized gatherings could result in a year's imprisonment. Obstructing officers may lead to fines of up to 100,000 or further jail time. Ojwang, Mbeere North MP Geoffrey Ruko alimaliza na kusema hii kitu ni mzuri. Wakenyans washakubali, washafanya public participation. Na ya mwisho yenye alisema ni if you guys want to go and occupy State House, as part of the proposals, it's not in the summary by the standards, but it should be there in the story if you read in page 4. They can designate a location closest to State House. Kama mnataka mnakuja mnapewa eka moja, mnapiga kelele yenu hapo. Msipite hapo. Iko tu karibu na State House. Somewhere Ruto can, open his window. Na asikie aseme Ruto must go, aseme sawa, acha nishuke. So somewhere closer. Not you marching your way to the gates of State House.
I pity, and I repeat this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Every Kenyan who votes in an ignorant leader just because they have money. The people of Mbeere North are hardest hit by this. Mbeere North hata hakuna maendeleo. But the MP or representative pale hivyo ndio anatuambia kulingana hiyo kitu if they read on is that the CS wa interior akona powers za kuset guidelines za how you can exercise your freedom, you can exercise your freedom of expression.
Where is the democracy?
Wachana na democracy. CS wa interior. CS wa interior mwenye ametoka saizi amepandishwa madaraka juu ya venye overwork. Professor Kithure Kindiki has gone in history as the man who has killed most Kenyans in a short period than the man he was defending in ICC. But he has been awarded for that. Now imagine the next CS.
Robin sema kitu.
But the next CS anafaa sasa aingie now hii bill ikiwa imempe power ya kuset guidelines za vile hizi vitu zitafanyika. So CS interior anaweza amka leo na aseme kutoka leo maandamano hakuna kwa highway vile wamesema hapo hivyo. So kama watu wafai kuandamana kwa highway, si basi waandamane kwa makanisa, wangoje President Ruto akivalishwa ile kiremba ya Lejo Maria. Na wamwambie ukweli. They did a very good job pale hivyo. If people cannot go to the streets to demand for their rights, then hizo places wanaita hazifai kuingiwa, ndizo zitaingiwa. It has been proven that zinaweza ingiwa. It has been proven that that parliament can be burnt down and we build another one within the next day. Na bado tunasema Kenya hakuna pesa. Because power belongs to the people. It has been proven that tunaweza guza mlima na tupewe holiday na wewe uende home. Na wewe ndo the biggest shareholder according to your narratives. Saa hizo wanasema hivyo. I read in the Standard that alienda kwa hiyo UDA party bila kusign memorandum of understanding.
Makosa.
Makosa. Bana, lazima tutafanya kitu kama wa Kenya.
Kweli. So to you it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It's in the second reading, right? It doesn't matter if it goes through.
it doesn't matter. Nikwambie kwa nini? Because power is transient. Hata ikipita saa hii, we'll manage to get another president in 2027 and we'll tell that as tunaendelea tukiwaambia tuna document hizi vitu ziko, naambia hii haikuwa kitu cha kwanza next president anafaa kufanya ni kuondoa mambo ya shifsha, rudisha NHIF, jua shida ya NHIF ni gani, sort that one. New university funding model yenye inaweka student from band 1 to band 4, na saizo hata hakuna musical instrument wanacheza. Watoto wa maskini wanakosa hiyo chance just because they cannot sing siku zombo tote, they cannot sing Simba ni Simba, they cannot sing hizo vitu zote huwa tunaona kwa constituency yetu. Wanaekwa kwa band yenye hawafai. Unapata twins, mmoja amewekwa kwa band 4, mwingine kwa band 1,
na wanatoka same family.
Aje sasa. So hizi ni vitu tunaweza ondoa with the next regime yenye itakuwa.
I like that spirit.
I am excited that the political tension imeisha kabisa. After Mlima kuguzwa 9th September and 9th November, Kasarani, former president and the fourth president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, atakuwa amekita kambi hapo hivyo. Whole Mount Kenya iko hivi. Itafika. Thika Road itajaa.
Bye.
Itaja, wanasema now this is the kingpin. Na hizo ndo vitu zinaendelea. So if they manage now to bring in a president who listens, a president like former president Mwai Kibaki who listens to the people, hizi vitu zote zitaondoka. Heri to lose mabilioni tulipe adani warudi kwao than tuwapatie country yetu for 30 years. Haiwezi.
Robin, that sounds super optimistic and I like it kwa sababu Ojwang ni mtu positive kila saa.
What must be done.
Mimi nataka nirudi kwa kitabu.
Yes.
Na niwaulize kitu if you can observe what is happening. President Ruto formed this government with political parties, a coalition that he called Kenya Kwanza. The contents of that agreement and what they were negotiating about, Kenyans have sort of disregarded that.
Yes.
But what we can observe is that the only MP on Maendeleo Chap is the one who proposed the impeachment of Gachagua. The only MP of DP is the one now proposing to do away with maandamano. So like every political party, based on what their agreement between Ruto and their party leader was, they get to do an errand for him in parliament. There's a role that they are playing in parliament based on what Ruto and your party leader agreed on. So I'm just pointing to that fact that ni sawa tunaweza piga kelele na tunaweza kuwa tuna discuss the contents of the bill. But even before we get there, can we just take a moment and look back kidogo na tujiuliza ni mchezo gani inachezwa?
Game of urban areas.
Yes. Uliniuliza nimekuwa wapi?
Yes.
Nimekuwa wapi kwa sababu nimekuwa nikicheza huu mchezo wa town. Wananitafuta, wananipata huku kumbe siko. Kumbe
wanadhani huko.
Wanadhani wamenipata kumbe siko hapo. Kumbe si mimi. Kumbe sio yeye na vitu kama hizo. And the same way ndio pia tunafaa to approach these
developments. That's true.
Because they look like a pattern.
I hadn't actually noticed the parties affiliated to the errand men or boys at this point.
So kuna errands zinapigwa hapa. Na pia sisi kama tunataka kufanya hizi vitu zenye Ojwang anafanya, lazima tujitume pia errands zetu zenye tumepanga hivyo. If tutapanga errands zetu in that design, tutapangwa tu tena.
Tutapangwa.
Tutafika tu hapo tukiwa tunapigwa narrative. Tunakaa hapo tunaambiwa sijui one nation, one flag, one people. Kuna siku tushaikatana na flag yetu. Sisi wote tunakuanga tumevaa bandiko na flag. So ukishinda ukituimbia one flag, tulikataa flag yetu lini?
Kweli.
It is inafika mahali inaanza tu kukua irritating and everybody should be mad like we are.
Yes.
Because even in all that we do, tukienda hizi vitu, acha niwaambie tu kweli, ukiona tukitembea huku majuu, sijui China, sijui Kenya, sijui USA, sijui wapi, tukienda kujaribu kuget agreements, tunaendanga tukiwa tunaongea kitu fulani, wanashinda hapo wanasema ni you think globally, but you act locally.
Yes.
Ukitaka kuenda kuget funding ya UN mzuri sahi hapa, give them an idea of how you are localizing SDGs to your area.
Yes. It's a global idea with a local action.
But local action. Lakini tukifika huku, time ya kufanya hizi local action ndio tunajaribu kuambia watu tuna act globally but we think locally.
We are in service of the country and not our villages.
It's ni mchezo mbaya.
Yes, and it's irritating.
Lakini pia sisi as we stand lazima pia tujipange.
Yes.
Lazima tujialign in a way that makes it easier to get to that point.
Right.
Sasa hii wacha nikwambie shida yenye Ruto wako nayo saa hii kubwa ni Baba is insisting on getting another slot for a cabinet secretary as part of his reward for impeach Gachagua na kuweka Kindiki. So he's saying kuna ofisi imetengenezwa hapa. If you give Musalia interior, kuna ofisi kwa foreign affairs. Na kama naenda kukua AU chair, I want to be the one in charge of foreign affairs. So mimi nataka mimi nataka hiyo kiti. Sasa hizo ndio vitu Ruto wana discuss aina Baba, ndizo wanakulana kichwa. Ndio maana usikii Ruto akifanya hizi vitu, Baba saa hii yako hayuko kwa picture. Hayuko kwa picture juu amesema ndio nirudi, nimefanya errand yangu ya ODM. Patia sisi.
Lakini pia anatuma errand men to scare him off with an impeachment.
I would not say ni yeye anatuma. So what is happening? Number one ni ile action yetu ya kwanza mahali tulipatana na wewe the last time. Kulikuwa na hii mkataba ya Ruto na Baba ya the 4 cabinet positions, but these 4 cabinet positions were to be given in March next year. Handshake ilikuwa March 2018. March 2025 Baba angekuwa amechaguliwa kama AU chair na wangekuja hapa wa announce reshuffle ya CS, watoe hadi Gachagua, wafanye Kindiki DP na wapatie Baba hizo nini zake 4, kwa sababu akipatiwa hizi 4 anakuwa ametoa leadership yote ya ODM from politics. So whoever comes and takes over ODM is under the whim and hand of Baba. But wakati wangetoka waachwe hawa kama hawajasetoliwa, ODM ilikuwa inaenda kuvunjika into ODM asili na ODM people, ODM Kenya. Ilikuwa inaelekea hapo.
Yes.
Uparanya asimame na wake huku, Joho asimame na wake huku, haya Opiyo Wandayi, Mbadi na Orengo waanze kupigania huko Nyanza, kila mtu na chama yake.
Which is bad business for both of the Ruto and Raila.
Yes. So they had a very good agreement.
Okay.
Mimi naenda AU, wewe unanichukulia watu, mimi nabaki nikimaintain ODM yangu. We can be doing these errands. Hizi biashara hii mchezo ya tauni tunaweza fanyanga na wewe. Lakini sisi hatutambui hiyo agreement. Tukaenda tukaoccupy bunge. Sasa kidogo Ruto
ikabidi plans zikuje.
Ikabidi amecash in check mapema. Akaikimbiza, akadisband nini, ndio wakaanza sasa kutafuta venye
watarishafa.
Kushaingia.
Asha cash in. Sisi hatujaona bado.
Sasa ndio ukaanza kuona Mbadi wa kidogo wakorogishane na Orengo nini, kwa kijaribu kudefend kuingia kwa serikali kidogo wameingia their first order of duty. Gachagua aende because that was the plan
all along.
But it was to happen in March 2025.
So now what happens if
so sasa shida mahali iko ni tumbo baridi. Hivi venye tuliingia bunge pia tunachokora huku baba anaweza fanya nini? Anaweza kosa,
anaweza anguka pia,
na akianguka ile nini ile uzi inatokea pale juu. The whole nguo,
the whole structure is down.
So walianza hiyo project yao na bottom up. Sasa pale up
itakuwa pale up mambo inaweza
yaribika, hata hii bottom haiwezi hold.
That's for sure.
So he's not sending at emissaries ati kukuja kuthreaten ati una impeachment. Hapana. It is the actual game that is being played. That's why wanafika mahali na wewe na tukienda hivi pale juu
pakosekane, tutarudi na wewe, tutashuka na wewe,
tutaanguka na wewe
properly. Ojwang, it's 9:47 in the morning. Mambo ni mengi, masaa nayo ni machache. Said, leo kwanza mimi ndo nimefanya that mistake. I had a very interesting conversation on business here. I almost forgot. Yeah, thank you.
Sasa siwezi taka tutoke hapa hivi kama tujizungumzia KCSE 2024.
Hata ndio nilikuwa nataka nikwambie tuingie right into it. Tuanze kwanza na ulifanya KCSE wapi? My guy.
Nilifanya KCSE in a school that one day the old boys of that school must shape up or shape out all of them. Ndio ikuwe kama alliance. Ito Kirugoya Boys High School.
You're bringing war to Kirugoya Boys.
Yes,
old
we
boys.
did something. In 2015,
yes,
I was the National Secretary for Student Council Kenya. I had been inaugurated at the presence of the First Lady then, Madam Maggie Kenyatta, and the Cabinet Secretary for Education then, Jacob Kaimenyi. That was 2015.
Yeah.
2015 high school sazi kuchomwa. Because nilikuwa nishaonyesha watu, you don't need to kuchoma. No. Kama wataki kuwafunza wafunge hiyo shule. Shule ni mingi. But shida ukuwa kwa old boys. Old boys were Alliance High School. Ran the school through mentorship of the boys. And these boys know that they are going to school for one reason. Education. Whether it is in class or through co-curricular education. But utapata mashinani kaa kwetu Keru, mtu huenda shule juu amemaliza standard 8. Na mtu ingia Keru juu amefikisha 300. But in real sense, these kids don't know why they are proceeding to the next level.
The why is important.
Hizo ndo vitu mimi najaribu kuchange kama parent. Mtoto wangu ni PP2 graduate, nashinda nikimkumbusha, you are a graduate of that level. This is why, and this is why you should proceed to the next level. So all boys hawafanyi hizo zote. Ndio maana kuna visa kama venye kwa the standard wanasema that in this year's KCSE tayari wamereport a death of a KCSE candidate. Wengine wanafanya mitihani wakiwa na ball. Na si ati wao ni Neymar ama Messi. Ni wasichana wetu who are impregnated. The Daily Nation na wao wanasema on page 7, enforce rules to curb exam malpractices, officials told. Sawa. Why do I say that haya hizi shida zote zinaweza malizwa na old boys? Mwa Kenya na hizo vitu uingiaje? Students no.
Connect.
They get these Mwa Kenyans because they are not confident enough. Or they have not been prepared enough for KCSE. KCSE mazeni kakitu kadogo sana. Na usiniulize kwa nini nilianguka nikapata B+. But nika kitu kadogo sana. Such that Alliance wanakuwa wamemaliza syllabus by the time wanaenda form 4 iliisha. Huku kwingine ni tukimbizane hivi, mwalimu asimame pale aanze kuimbia watu MBR, movement by running. Everyone should know that whenever you are in high school, it's time. Kimbia hapa, kimbia pale, ukimaliza enda fanya rehearsals. Mimi hakuna funky niliwahi kosa.
Same.
Na ukirudi shule bado una perform. Kwa nini? You know you have an obligation. Whole day umeshinda ukirukaruka huko hivyo, ukisemaga honorable adjudicators, judges, teachers, alafu utahitaji kunini? Cool down kwa class. So hatufai kusoma enforce rules to curb exam malpractices.
Rules will not help.
Hapana, old boys wafanye mambo, get to know nani hao wanauzia watoto wetu mwa Kenya, kwa nini wanauzia mwa Kenya, how can we prepare our students, mbona students wanapata ball wakiwa nini, kuna mambo ya abstinence na vitu kama hizo, ukifika nyumbani mafisi ni wengi hawataki kusikia. Tufunze hao watoto wote sex education kutoka wakiwa huko chini, ndo wakage wakijua kuna protection measures.
Yes.
Safeguard your future. Ingine ya mwisho ningetaka tuzungumzie, bado iko kwa The Star na The Standard.
Yes.
Wanaongea kuhusu intersex kutolewa kwa list ya LGBTQI.
Hii conversation bado iko kwa front of the dailies.
Yes.
In 2 weeks in a row The Star.
Hiyo sasa naweza guza. Last time uliniuliza nikahepa mbio sana.
Uko na 30 seconds, guza hiyo mrima.
Huwa inakuwa hapo hivyo juu ya watu ambao wamezaliwa na viumbe viwili. Sasa mwanaume, kiumbe cha mwanaume na kiumbe cha mwanamke.
Yes.
Huko sio kutaka kwao, wamezaliwa hivyo. That is a disability. But wewe kuamua leo mwanaume mzima ugucha, you want to have sex with another man. Hiyo sio ati kitu yenye iliumbwa. Hapana. So those people should be respected enough kutolewa kwa hiyo list.
I agree. Thank you John.
Namalizia hapo. John Mariam, KUTV.
Asante sana. Mkuro, KCSE. Ujawish Kerugoya real quick.
Wako sawa. They know. Ni the same bro. You shall reap what you sow. May God bless the work of your hands. You can do that. Hata utume ile success inatoshana hivi. Wakulima atapata jembe. Yule ameokoka kidogo lakini amekataa kusoma, Daudi msalaba.
Ro funga na history. KCSE kama utamention mali ulikuwa and anything around this.
Mimi actually nilisoma, I am the closest hapa, nilisomea mahali unaweza rusha mawe ufike. I did my KCSE hapa nyuma hapa Kahawa Garrison Secondary, hapa ndio nilifanya KCSE.
Okay.
And leo naweza dispel kitu yenye ilikuwa inafanyika. Nimesikia mkiongea venye mlikuwa fanki zote. I was that person, but I was that person who was still performing in class. But all my friends were kinda not. So nilikuwa nimefika mahali nikawekwa kando, wakaitwa kuambiwa waache kuhang out na mimi sababu mimi ninawaharibu. Ninawaingiza kwa mashida lakini mimi mtihani ninapita. Ati so tunaindanga kwa kufanya usherati alafu mimi narudi kwa nyumba kusoma. Apparently.
Okay.
But, allegedly. So it also happened that history anaongelea ya nini ya mwa Kenya. The first paper inakuanga English. And it was tulikuwa tunafanya storybook inaitwa Half a Day. And the story that was to come, watu walikuwa wamepredict, ilikuwa moja, kila mahali kila mtu alikuwa sure. Story ilikuwa inakuja nyingine inaitwa Government by Magic Spell. So questions zikaanza kufly za mwa Kenya. But hawa watu wenye wako nazo ni hao wenye wako ile class nyingine. Lakini wana hanging out na nani? Na mimi. So people would bring me questions ni wajibie. And hiyo mtihani ya kwanza on the first day. So hizo maswali zimeletwa and people are sure tuko na mwa Kenya na ni swali ni hii. Na imerudiwa sijui kwa mokia ya Pangani, sijui ya Alliance, sijui ya Uber. Iko same question. Ni hii. Nimewafunza mpaka ninaiko kando nikuwe mwalimu, nifunze my friends about that story and waishike and how to answer those questions. But mimi nikasema even as nasoma hii so many pia hizi zingine just in case tukaingia mtihani. Let me tell you, wakaleta the first story on the book,
Half a Day and other stories.
Exactly. Na hawa watu wote
other stories just Half a Day. Na hawa watu wote
wameshinda kwa hii ya Government Magic Spell. So our class, so hii class ya kwanza simkifanya nini mnapangangwa kulingana na index. Hii index ya class ya kwanza, we started laughing. We took 15 minutes of the class
to laugh,
to just laugh.
Wamepatikana
tukafanyishwa mkutano after exam. ya venye so the principal then ni my friend hadi wa leo tunaendanga kanisa moja. Wakatufanyisha mkutano ya kutuambia hata mkienda mpate Mkenya na mkuje mpate ni hiyo kwa paper, si lazima mcheke mbele ya invigilator ajue mlikuwa na Mkenya. And we never said. Sasa leo ndio nasema kwa TV. Tulikuwa tunacheka kwa sababu it was not what
you were told it was. Iliuma nje,
basically iliuma nje. And English happened to be my best subject. I was awarded later as the best in English for the prize giving day that followed for the KCSE.
Oh, nice.
I was the best in English.
Right.
But tulikuwa tunacheka
kwa sababu mambo imeuma nje.
Because I kept on insisting hata nikiwafunza hii. Jaribili tu kujua tu hizi zingine zinasema nini. And then nikakosa kukuja. So with that short story nataka ni wish my school Kawa Garrison all the best na najua wanaweza.
Alright. Asante sana. Huyo ni Robin Karani Muriemi aka Mkuu Ro. Yeah, that's the man to go to when you are having troubles and the judiciary is overreaching. President William Ruto kusaidia hapa. Ongera mkuu, asante sana guys for coming through to the show. My name is Richard Okenye. I'm wishing success first of all to my youngest brother Alex Okenye, who started his KCSE yesterday. I know you got this. Congratulations for making it so far. Hii mambo rahisi hii. Secondly, and also very, very important, wishing all the best to the mighty The Alliance High School, which is my alma mater. Hata kwanza hata wihitaji wishes. Washapi. Wanasema kuna meme, wanasema ati this is how Alliance High School students pretend they have seen the paper for the first time. But it's true. They're well prepared. All the best to them and to the rest of KCSE candidates. 900,000 plus who are sitting for the next 2 weeks. Mpite. Na hiyo si mwisho wa dunia. Unaweza pata D kama Joho na bado ukwe CS. Thank you for tuning in to Biashara Tuesday. This is your business show for every Tuesday morning on KUTV Rise Today. On Monday morning, unapata yule jamaa pale on my friend who is Ojwang Mariam to take you through art and culture. And just before I forget, yesterday he told you about Nyege Festival, which is happening in Uganda this month from the 14th, right? And if you want to attend, give us a text. We'll give you all the necessary information. I attended the Nyege Festival in 2022, and I'm telling you, there are no words to describe the experience. You need to be there to see the festival, to see the art, to see the culture. So tune in next week on Monday, alafu Ojwang Mariam atakuremind hiyo mtaratara inaendanga aje. But this has been exciting for me to discuss business, politics,